It's like this. Everybody knows this shit, and this is not an if. I don't live my life on if. I couldn't make it this far in life. I'm constantly ifing, hoping. Hope is not a plan. So you know, energy. So it's like, nah, man. It's like you can't make it so far in life and not still be hoping and wishing. You gotta have some definitive. You gotta have some definite. So I push on definite. So nah, I mean, when we win, nah, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't care. I mean, you know, they didn't mean anything to me before the fight. They don't mean less to me after the fight. It doesn't matter to me.
Welcome to BodyWork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to BodyWork Boxing. In this boxing game, there are few coaches that I would esteem higher than three coaches. You got Coach Kevin Cunningham, the Southpaw with you know what I'm saying? Battle tested, proven, philosophical, won a tight ship. He done got AB to bounce back. Then you got Coach Calvin. You know, when you mention Coach Calvin, you got to mention Coach Kenny because they're like a package deal. Ain't no separating. But I call Coach Calvin the Jedi. You know, he's the success behind Tank Davis, Chuck Simpson. You know, a lot of the youth over there at the Upton Gym. But then you got Derrick James. Derrick James, who I call the evil genius, right now might be the hottest coach in boxing, inside and out. This video is about the evil genius and what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing in this build up. You know, we're less than a week out from this fight. A week out from this fight. 6 days away from seeing arguably one of the best fights of this era right now in boxing. And Derrick James will be the genius behind the game plan. Now let's break down Derrick James. Right now everybody's talking about his stable with the recent addition of Ryan Garcia. Before that it was Anthony Joshua, you know, coming to get his tutelage. But it wasn't that long ago. Not too long ago when he took on Jermell Charlo, coming over from Rodney Shields, and you saw a change in the development of Jermell Charlo. And with the guidance and the tutelage of Derrick James and his skill and ability, they were already able to achieve undisputed. So you have a track record. You have Frank Martin, who came along late in boxing, but decided to get with Errol Spence and Derrick James and get his career started. You're actually seeing him blossom into a top contender. You know, his name is starting to ring bells as the GOAT. You know, as he makes, you know, his ascent, you know, and makes a name and builds his career. You have Derrick James behind all them, but the cornerstone, the foundation, has always been Errol Spence. Now, when I assessed this a while ago, I had talked about, you know, if Bo-Mac really wanted to match wits with Derrick James, and you'll have people that'll be dismissive of that point. But how much and the impact and what the trainers and the coaches in the corner say benefit a fighter so much. You know, it's just like a Popovich on the side, you know, calling the shots, because it's one thing when you're in the game, there's things and perspectives that you see, but as a trainer on the outside looking in, they can see things that you might not be privy to, because right then and there, you're in the heat of the battle. They're the ones that actually tell you the adjustments to make. Now, it's up to you to go out there and make it. You have to use your talent and ability, and you have to implement whatever the coaches say. But he's very pivotal in the corner. If you look at Somebody was knocking, a lot of people been, questioning or doubting Frank DeGoes Martin's performance here recently. They were just now, recently as last night, they were criticizing Keyshawn Davis's performance as well, and you heard Bomac. But in regards to the Ghost, people were saying that, oh man, he was in trouble. But what was it? It was his ability to adjust late in that fight that got him through. And our reason, when I look at Bomac, who's behind Keyshawn, and it's good because them two are, I think they're on a crash collision. Keyshawn and Frank, I think they're on a crash collision. But then you also have another, Bomac and Derrick James, facing off again. In this build-up, when you look at it, you actually heard Bomac being real vocal. And he's been real vocal. Like I said before in the video, you never hear Bomac, shouting out, the boxers X and O. Well, I've been hearing a lot of that, especially this weekend. I was hearing a lot of that. I heard a lot of that when Kelvin fought, when he got rid of his guy the other day. Like week before last, he got rid of his guy and he did his thing. I heard Bomac being more vocal. But, Bomac has many different hats that he wears, over there. He's like part business, his affiliation with Top Rank, and some of the fighters signed with Top Rank. I kind of think that that's the linchpin, because Bud can't go but so far out of that. Now, he got this deal with the PBC, but him and Bomac being linked at the hip is kind of like a linchpin with him over at Top Rank. So there's been times when Bomac has come out and actually said that, the money wasn't there. I told him walk away. I did this, I did it. So we have all that. The thing about Derrick James is he does not actually have that. Derrick James knows that he can only focus on one thing. One, that's what his fighters want, and his ability to help and aid his fighter getting whatever they desire. And he's real staunch, he's real firm on the fact that this is something that Earl has wanted from day one. This is where he wanted to be. What I seen the two camps, I try to keep it down the middle, even though I've already drawn my line in the sand on this one. I try to, but when I analyze, if I just said glaring, sweeping statements where you can make statements about your observation without anybody being able to say you were one-sided, what I saw was a more easygoing, lighthearted camp. Everybody was laughing and smiling and joking, and everybody was loose and relaxed. When I saw the Bud camp, when I saw the Earl Spence camp, everybody was like focused, tense. There was no playing around. There was no smiling. There was no laughing. Everybody was being, I would say, deliberate. There was a serious tone set. Now, it was different when I see Earl in these interviews. But what they give us as far as training, and the message they're sending in training, is that everything is deliberate. Now, I've recently heard Bomac, speaking to the many hats, I've recently heard Bomac come out and say that sometimes he has to just sit back and just be a fan. Derrick James will never do that. Derrick James is never going to be sitting back in the fight just being a fan. His goal, and his one and only goal, is to get Earl Spence across this finish line to get his undisputed. He didn't have to, whenever you heard Derrick James talk about contracts and this fight go, he said, listen, man, that's not none of my, I'm not into that. When it comes across my desk and they say this, that's when I get to start studying. That's when I start game planning. That's when I start strategizing as to what I need to do for my client. That being Earl Spence. I don't think Derrick James is playing. He's very deliberate. He does not like to, bask or live in the realm of reality of ifs. And it's not, he's saying he's not iffing around. He's getting down to business. He's being purposeful. And I think that they have a game plan. I don't think that it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So I wanted to highlight this fight. I believe that it's going to be an uphill battle for Bud. I believe that, underestimating, especially with some of the outrageous things. But you can't point these things out without being called a hater, so I refrain from saying them in this video. I just think that with some of the things that they're saying, like some of the ways that they're disrespecting Earl Spence as the guy with the 3 belts. Didn't hear this before. Like when Canelo was on his run and he was going to go get his undisputed and he had the 3 belts, they was telling Caleb Plant to shut up, sit down, take a back seat, you ain't got nothing. I've never heard that, but I guess since Bud has moved up in these different divisions, that holds more weight than what has he done in the 147 division. I think that being as the majority champion with 3 belts, waiting to get that last strap, and a lot of the things that have been said and done, I think that Earl Spence and Derrick James are on a mission. There's no game plan. It's a deliberate tone, and I think come on July 29th, you are going to see an exhibition of the two. You know, so I just want to salute Derrick James. Right now, I would say, you know, made battle of the wits between you and Bomac. I want to see, you know, I want to see fireworks. You know, I already know what I'm going to get when I see Bud and Spence. So I just wanted to highlight that about Derrick James, man. I think he's the hottest coach in the game, and I think that we're going to see his genius, and he's going to have 2 undisputed champions in concurrent weight classes back to back. You know, what do you think about it? You know, chime in. What are you seeing from the camp? You know, have you listened to Derrick James and his philosophy? He's being very militant, very focused. You know, he's dismissive of anything that's not going along with the mission at hand, which is to get undisputed for Earl Spence at 147 pounds. Love to hear your comments. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Everybody work boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.